Since 2013, Bombas has donated over 100 million socks, underwear, and T-shirts to those facing homelessness. If we counted those on air, this ad would last over 1,157 days. But if we counted the time it takes to make a donation possible, it would take just a few clicks. Because every time you make a purchase, Bombas donates an item to someone who needs it.
Go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code Wondery for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/Wondery, code Wondery.
You know that feeling when your favorite brand really gets you? Deliver that feeling to your customers every time. Memorable moments like these are key to building your business and your brand. Klaviyo turns your customer data into real-time connections across AI-powered email, SMS, and more, making every moment count, so you can continue to build smarter, more meaningful relationships with your customers. Build smarter digital relationships with your customers and make every moment count with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/BFCM.
Listeners, happy Pride. Oh, it's here, honey. It is Pride in New York City. And let me tell you something. God knows that it's Pride because it is flamingly hot here this week, for the love of God.
Oh, we're in hell, all right. I'll tell you that. We're exactly where we're supposed to be, according to evangelical Christians.
Maybe the signs are right. Maybe God does hate fags and she's cooking us.
Yeah, it's a scorcher, I will say. I went on my morning walk, and it was truly 70 degrees when I started, and 25 minutes into it, it was 80 degrees. And I was like sweating profusely, and I was like, wow, that really jumped up 10 degrees in less than 30 minutes.
My air conditioners, I feel like, are giving up. I feel like they're not sweating.
Oh, mine have been on their last legs since I moved into this apartment 11 years ago.
Oh,
so like,
bitch, you better change those filters.
Oh, I clean them don't worry.
Good.
I'm all
just
over
checking.
it.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Well, it is Pride, so we have some Pridey things to talk about. Christopher, do we begin with Celine Dion documentary, or do we do gay shame and talk about George Santos's OnlyFans? Where to go?
It's a Sophie's choice. I mean, are you ready to listen to me on a soapbox rant first, or do you want to have a joke first? That's what really the question.
Why don't we tell a joke first and then get into your girl? What are your thoughts?
Okay. Yeah, I'm into that.
George Santos has an OnlyFans. I cannot think of anything that I am less gay proud of in my life. How dare this be announced during Pride Month is what I'm saying.
No, I mean, he's doing it right, though. I will say he's like, if there's any time to do it under the cloak of homosexuality, it's right now.
This bitch is going to be around forever. He is leaning into every despicable thing he can do. I mean, it's not like he has a choice, but he's just doing it. And for those who don't know,
find out?
He's not naked on OnlyFans.
No, I don't think
it's just content, but he specifically chose OnlyFans because it's incendiary. And it worked because I'm furious. I'm furious that she and her flipper still exist. I mean, I've had it.
George Santos has a Patreon is not a headline. No offense to Patreon, which we love and use. You know what I mean? But that's not incendiary headline. George Santos has an OnlyFans is absolutely that.
Yeah.
Now, however, will I say that should $12 of our Patreon money go towards finding out what's on his OnlyFans? Maybe.
I think let's have a reputable website do that, and then we can just peep the results.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Something else fun before we get into Celine, which is always something I've been fascinated with, which is the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They've announced who the 2025 inductees are. And
who are they?
Okay, well, it's first of all, Jane Fonda. How does Jane Fonda not have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? She's 86 years old.
That's not possible.
Wait, is that
real? Is that real?
It is absolutely real. Jane Fonda is getting a star on the Walk of Fame.
That's a crime.
Colin Farrell, Robert Englund, he, of course, of Freddy Krueger, John Carpenter, who created it, Jessica Chastain, Nia Long, among others in the motion picture category. In television, Stars will be given to Ms. Fran Drescher, obviously deserved.
How does she not have one either?
I know it's been a minute.
Love The Nanny.
Lauren Graham, she's the Gilmore Girl, right? Am I wrong?
Yes.
Never seen an episode. Bill Nye, the science guy. Molly Shannon.
The fact that Bill Nye,
I knew this was going to piss you off. I don't know why.
And Jane Fonda, and now adding in Molly Shannon on the Jane side of the equation. And P.S., I was the right age for Bill Nye the Science Guy. I watched that show.
Okay.
The fact that he is getting a Hollywood Walk of Fame star at the same time as those two other people is absolutely what is wrong with this country.
It's shocking. Let me continue with the television folks. Sherry Shepherd, who I love.
Oh, great.
Courtney B. Vance, also love. He should just get one for being married to Angela Bassett. Chris Wallace, from Fox News, etc. And Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they of South Park, will be getting
Deserved.
In the category of recording, stars are being given to
I'm so nervous.
Fantasia.
Okay.
I think she should have waited a few more years, but it's fine. Depeche Mode, obviously. The B-52s. Great. Did you just Depeche Mode is deserving of one, I think.
Sure. Okay.
B-52s, Green Day, which is about how big of a fan I am of them. What is this? Green Days? The Isley Brothers. That seems weird. They don't have one. Busta Rhymes. Keith Urban. And somehow Keith Urban, who I'm told recently is not Meg Ryan. Keith Urban is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame the same year as, wait for it, Prince. I mean, what on earth is going on in Hollywood?
Oh, God.
Are you going to be all right?
How's that possible?
I don't know.
Also, I mean, let's not forget that a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, yes, it is prestigious. And would I kill you and multiple other people to get one?
But it is something you buy. It's not.
But it is something you buy. And also it's something that's put on the sidewalk where there's a methadone clinic around the corner and there's someone, do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be rude, but that's
where I'd want.
Where you go, when you walk around there, the area where the stars are, it's not great.
Oh, it's a terrible neighborhood. It's like being on 14th Street and Avenue A here in Manhattan. Yeah. It's that's a no-go, buddy. Alan Cumming and Misty Copeland are also getting stars in the category of live theater and performance.
Deservedly so.
I think so, too. But I thought that was fun. I just love a list of celebrities, even if it's just here's a list of people who won't talk to me. I love a list. Yeah,
you love a list.
Speaking of lists, this has nothing to do with that. And Christopher has watched the Celine Dion documentary on Amazon, which was released yesterday. And you can tell by the tone of my voice, or if you've been to his Instagram stories, not a 5-star review. Christopher?
I thought you were going to say a list of grievances. That was going to be your segue.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because that is what my Instagram story is a list of grievances.
Well, then here's the fucking list. Grieve away, girl.
Guys, it wasn't good. Celine was amazing. Celine gave us everything that we wanted. She was raw. She was confessing that she was lying to her fans and it destroyed her. She was, she sings and then she starts crying and she's like, I don't want to admit that I can't sing anymore, but it's destroying me. She gives, I hate you.
Every night in my dreams. This is me, let's get louding you during a story. Yeah. That's what that is.
She does amazing. But when I tell you that she'll say something and then right as you're oh, okay, something's about to happen. She's explaining oh, this is what happened to my, it's not my voice. It's actually all the muscles around my lungs that are constricting on my diaphragm and I can't sing. She's explaining why they have to get away from that as soon as they possibly can to go to some either archive footage of her younger singing or her on tour in a concert documentary that I already have the DVD of, or simply just a B-roll shot in her house to get away from whatever story they're about to tell and get to something else where she's just walking around her home in beautiful pajamas.
I wonder if that was her decision.
I don't think it is at all.
To maybe not get that deep.
No, but she's Dominic. The movie ends with her going into a complete seizure of her entire body where she cannot even blink her eyes. And it is one of the most horrifying things I've ever watched in my entire life. Trigger warning times a million for
That's how it ends?
It ends with her having they have nothing. So they put that at the end and it is horrifying.
Ugh.
She looks dead. It's not even, I'm not even making a joke about it. It's one of the craziest things I've ever watched. Just that part.
That's the last scene of the documentary.
That's the one of the last scenes.
Is it are they running credits over her while she's lying there?
No,
How
God,
disrespectful is that? Okay.
No, it's not disrespectful, but they're filming it and it's they're giving her medicine. They're giving her more medicine. Every 10 minutes he's explaining that it's been 10 minutes. No, it's bad. You watch it and you walk away and you're like, oh my God, this is absolutely jaw-dropping. But you're waiting for an hour and 30 minutes to get there and you don't learn one thing about the
stiff person syndrome?
Stiff person syndrome at all. There's not one doctor that's telling us what's going on or why.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting her talking about her family, which again, is cool, but there's no reason for it to exist. And it's just so we can just see B-roll of random old shit that she did from the 90s.
That
and
sucks.
At one point she tells this story about how she's I always feel she doesn't say the giving tree, but there's a book called The Giving Tree where basically the tree keeps giving apples away. And she kind of says that. And she's like, I'm an apple tree and I keep giving apples and I shine them up and I give them away. And that's my whole life. And that's as a performer, she likens that to performing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gives this line and I'm about to cry, even about to say it because it's so shattering where she just goes, and I can't let people get in line if I don't have apples to give away anymore. And you're just it's devastating. Do you know what I mean? It's she is firing on all cylinders. The filmmakers should be put in prison for what they did because it is
that sounds like a pretty harsh penalty. Yeah.
It's so poorly handled. If you watch it, you'll be like, you and I promise you in 3 weeks could have made a better documentary.
Not the review I think our listeners were hoping for. But
I'm shocked that I didn't I'm shocked. But it was
the gander. I mean, you can either, I'm sure you're going to batch those stories on your Insta page. People can either
in
go
my
through
highlights.
your 30 stories in your highlights. Thank you. Or if you still want to watch it after this, it is on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm sad. I love her so much. And she does such a good job explaining things. And I feel that it was just poorly handled because the final scene is one of the scariest things I've ever watched. It's a lot. They put that trigger warning at the beginning of there's going to be, you're not ready for this. And I was like, oh, they just showed one little random scene. That was nothing. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, that's why they put that trigger warning there. Cause I'm reeling.
That scene sounds like it's going to be my Halloween costume this year.
No, Dominick, no, it's too, even you will be, yes, haha, but no,
I'm uncomfortable hearing about it. That's why I've told a joke. I don't know how to react to someone being sick. I've been at the bedside of people dying and I just make fart noises. I don't know what to do with material like that.
There's parts but they were given a gift of that happening and them just being there rolling on it. And that they didn't evoke, I don't know. I'll get too crazy with it, but I wish someone else would have made it.
Let's switch over to some good news. I feel badly that this has happened to you.
Not at all,
but in the middle of Pride, it's almost
homophobic. Yes,
a little bit. Yeah. And speaking of, actually, this has nothing to do with homophobia. I got to tweak these fucking segues. I didn't know what's happening with me.
It's hard.
I'm just too proud. This is a really cute story. I don't know if you heard about, but Sandra Bernhard was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen a couple of nights ago. And one of the viewer questions led her, I think they were asking about when she was on Roseanne or about Morgan Fairchild, who played her girlfriend on Roseanne. And this is 25 years ago.
Yeah,
they were, I think, the first lesbian couple, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Sandra Bernhard and Morgan Fairchild played a lesbian couple on Roseanne for a handful of episodes. And when Sandra Bernhard heard Morgan Fairchild's name in this question, she immediately said, I treated Morgan Fairchild like shit and it has haunted me ever since because she is a lovely person. I gave her a snobby attitude because she was assumedly because she was Morgan Fairchild, who was sort of not cheesy, but she was more of a soap opera actress and Roseanne was award-winning fare.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's been decades and I've always wanted to say something and I know that she's going to see this. And I'm just really sorry for the way you were treated. It was me and everyone treated you this way. And then I guess Andy tweeted Morgan Fairchild and anything I've ever heard about Morgan Fairchild is that she is cool as fuck. And her response was no different than that. She was like, you know what? That was a rough gig for me, but that's showbiz. And I'm so thrilled you said something, and let's go out and have coffee. Bing, bang, boom. That was it.
You know what?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. Like there is hope for the world.
There is. And you're never too old to do that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like Morgan is in her 70s. Sandra Bernhard, I believe, is in her 60s. And it's just great. Like somewhat, you publicly apologize. You publicly acknowledge that you treat someone like shit. It's okay to take lumps and move on. You know what I mean? And I thought that was really big of both of them to act the way that they did.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot, actually.
So that's good. Let's move into something that'll be a little bit more annoying, trying to ebb and flow with this. But the William Pinklet Smith comeback tour has begun. He is performing a new song at the BET Awards on June 30th.
A new song?
A new song. Yeah.
Oh, no. Do we know what it is?
We don't, but I know Bad Boys was just in theaters. I think it did okay.
No.
It certainly was no Inside Out 2. And now there's a new song. So we know he's got to wait, I think, another 8 years before attending the Academy Awards. But really, who gives a shit? Like, he's back in the saddle again.
What on earth is he going to? No, Dominic, but like, what
I have no idea. I didn't pursue it further because I honestly don't care. I didn't follow his music that much before, but
you know what his songs are, and his songs are like "Welcome to Miami."
Yeah, they're all novelty songs. They're all novelty songs,
like Big Willie style. Isn't that the name of one of his albums?
Do you think he's going to be doing like hardened victim rap now?
That's what I'm saying. Like that genre of music.
Chris Rock, and I got a big cock. I don't know what is he going to say. The public hated me, and then they berated me. Why? What is it? What is it going to? No one cares. You have an Oscar. You still got an Oscar that night, dum-dum.
I'm scared that that's what he will do, but then I'm also scared that he's going to do like what actually would be really smart for him to go out and do like "Welcome to Miami" or "Getting Jiggy with It."
I don't know.
Come on,
"Getting Jiggy with It."
Come on, that's a song right there.
And the Man in Black.
Yeah. Like. He could garner favor there with me.
Yeah, Bob Dylan, this is not. I mean, it's Will Smith.
No, God, no. But that's why I'm scared, because I'm like, is he going to like try to like jump in on like Drake and Kendrick Lamar? Like, is he going to like...
They won't allow that. They won't. Will Smith's rap has been made fun of by so many other rappers in their songs. Like, they're not going to do that. There is a lot of news from the United Kingdom. I'm going to try to get through this. Tom Cruise attended the Taylor Swift concert in London on the day that his daughter, Suri, graduated from LaGuardia here in New York. So my daughter's graduating from high school, and rather than go to that, I'm going to go to a concert that she probably wanted to go to in another country.
Yeah, his daughter that didn't use his last name whenever she walked across the stage.
In the graduation program, she is listed as Suri Noel, not Suri Cruz. So that's the end of that. Happy Father's Day indeed.
It's hilarious that this proves not only does he have like it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your child is? The answer is no. And two, like not only did he probably not even know that like she was graduating that day because he hasn't spoken to her since she left Scientology. He probably had no idea because she doesn't exist anymore to him.
Yeah.
And not only does this prove that, but then it's like, he then went to a Taylor Swift concert. So it's like...
it seems like a fuck you to me.
Yeah. Like, it's like he went to a place where millions of people would see that he was there. Not even just like, did he just stay in his house?
He didn't
went
know.
somewhere.
He didn't know it was that day. He would have made it...
He had no idea.
Optically, that's a pretty bad move. But
which is worse.
Right.
It's worse.
Right. Kelsey Grammer, Taylor Swift's boyfriend, made an on-stage appearance during one of the London Eras Tour stops. And obviously... if you felt the tectonics moving, that was the reason. I mean, there's some dance number she's been doing the whole tour, and they swapped out the normal dancer and had Kelsey lift her up and carry her out and all this shit. And people are going nuts. Yes.
Oh, were people like losing their minds? Oh my God.
Losing their minds. I believe
I didn't know about
mark
this
on the Richter scale in England.
Wait, I'm Googling it right now.
So I think as well that he's going to propose to her on stage when it happens. I mean, Rebecca told me recently.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Hey, of course he's going to. Of course.
People will drive off this road.
Of course they will. Moving on. Princess Anne I believe Meghan Markle pushed her off a horse, if I'm reading this news story properly. No. Princess Anne
If it's the Daily Mail, you are reading that properly because that's 100% what they wrote. Yeah.
There was an incident. She's in the hospital. We hope she's okay. But once again, Meghan Markle causes trouble, and one by one, everyone in the royal family gets sick or dies. Big love to Princess Anne. The Duchess of Schmuckers, who we recently referred to as Meghan Markle. There's a report that they tried to mend fences with Kate Middleton before she made her grand reappearance at the Trooping of Color a couple of weeks ago, but it was just met with a cold shoulder. So the reports are that she is trying. So that's bad news for the Duchess. The even worse news is that her father has gone to the press again. He's about to turn 80, and he is pleading with her and Harry publicly to meet his grandchildren, Lilibet and Little Shit, before he turns 80 years
horrible.
old. Those are not their names?
You're so stupid.
But he's back. So, rather than send a text, he's gone to the Daily Mail, which is
but
kind of like why she's not talking to you anyway. But
yeah, no, you know what? Fuck her dad. Like, remember the pictures of him eating the fucking Subway right before, when he was like uninvited to the wedding because he was like gonna die, but he wasn't really. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he's a piece of fucking shit.
He really was, and I have to say, I've softened on him over time. Like, I still think what he did was wrong, and I understand somewhat why she can't be in touch with him. But the dad doesn't bother me as much as her goddamn sister. When that one pops up,
I wish she would come back.
I have to turn it off. Oh my God.
I love her. She's the worst. But she's
no.
She's
cannot.
Complete evil, and it's fun to me because it's so obviously evil, and like she's such a like star fucker and wants to get her 15 minutes. Whereas the dad is at least trying to like put it into like,
he wants to see the grandchildren. I mean, I think he's a little sleazy. He generally wants to see them. The sister
he wants to be photographed seeing the grandchildren.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to couch it in like, this is real. Whereas the sister is like, I'm a piece of garbage and I am coming from the swamp.
She wants to barbecue,
sling mud. Yeah, she wants to sling mud.
Done.
And I love, and that to me is fun because we all know that what it is. We all can see it for what it is.
Speaking of the Royals, Kevin Costner, while he is promoting his future flop Horizon and also letting the world know he will not be on the final season of Yellowstone, says in a Howard, because he couldn't come to an agreement with Taylor Sheridan because everyone's trying to swing their dicks around, and now no one's shooting a load, apparently. And now Yellowstone will go on without the main character, I guess. I don't know how Hollywood works. I'm just here to talk shit about it.
You know what's so crazy is that it's just like Hollywood is collapsing in on itself. You have a hit TV show. This show
with a movie star, an Oscar winner at the center of it.
Humongous. And you can't get him to come do the rest of the show that is about him. Know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you think about it, like, think about Euphoria. You had every single one of us in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and they blew it.
And you couldn't even get your fucking shit together to keep doing the show. Now it's going to be like 70 million years in the future.
It's true. You know what? COVID ruined everything. COVID ruined the casts of every show that I don't watch. It's really been heartbreaking.
Yeah, sure. But like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. How is the show Yellowstone that every fucking person that doesn't live in New York or LA watches and has t-shirts about?
What is it? Is his name?
He's the main character.
Yellowstone? What is the plot?
Basically.
And
he's the Dexter of Yellowstone.
Okay.
What a
really wide left that was as an example.
I was just
Does he murder everyone?
No. But I'm saying, like, it's a show about him. And so it's like, how on earth are you not getting him to agree?
The producers don't feel the same way.
Fucking wild. It's wild. Anyway.
So listen, he does this Howard Stern interview, and in the Howard Stern interview, and we've heard whispers about this over the years, but he said that Princess Diana was on board to be the celebrity in The Bodyguard 2. That it was going to be like Frank Farmer, and that she was down to do it. And they had spoken about it before she passed away. I don't know how that would have worked. Would she have released the album? I mean, does she say? I don't know. I feel like it would have been, if I'm really being honest, I think it would have been a bit of a travesty. Like, I don't want to see a princess whose life was ruined by being famous playing someone whose life is difficult for being, it would just, I don't know. It didn't sit right with me when I heard it. Maybe if I'd watched it, it would have changed my mind, but I don't know.
It's giving me the same kind of smattering of like when Britney Spears in her memoir said that the casting of The Notebook came down to her and Rachel McAdams. Like, imagine if Britney Spears was going to be the person in The Notebook. Like, that's not, what would that movie look like?
I simply don't know.
Yeah, neither do I, and neither does she.
Here's some good news for us and for any type of person that roots for Lindsay Lohan and is equally as obsessed and annoyed with Jamie Lee Curtis as all human beings are supposed to be. Freaky Friday 2 is a motherfucking go, bitch.
I am so excited.
Yep.
I sent a picture of it to, you know, that Freaky Friday is my mother-in-law's like favorite movie.
I had
when I tell you that,
I don't even know what to say.
I have watched it with her millions of times, and she says every time, she's like, I love the music, I love them. Like, she rides for Jamie Lee Curtis harder than any person alive. I need you to know this.
Every detail of that made the story more hilarious to me. Well, what do you like about Freaky Friday 2? Well, first off, the score. I mean, who would ever say that?
She's like, I love everything. She loves every single thing about it. It's her favorite movie. I've watched it with her a million times. Like, when they like try to switch bodies again and they like run into each other and knock heads and fall down, like, she's on the floor. Like, she's seen it a million times. She's pissing herself because she's laughing so hard. When I explained to her that they're making a second one and show her the photo of the two of them sitting there, she's going to faint. But I am so ready. I'm so excited. If anything, and not that it needs to be the comeback, but if she needed to have a comeback, this is Britney Spears.
Perfect.
This is Lindsay Lohan's comeback.
It's perfect.
I don't even want it to be her comeback, but if she wants one, it's here.
And I want this movie, and I hope that it will. If this movie appeals to the same audience that the first one did, that means that for these people, Lindsay Lohan will be your Jamie Lee Curtis. You know what I mean? It will be fucking fantastic. And whoever, I'm assuming the whole thing is going to be about Lindsay Lohan having a daughter, and then someone's going to switch, blah, blah, blah.
Or they're going to switch again, and then they're going to be like, oh, we know how to do this before. Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
I can't wait.
Even if it's terrible, we're going to love it. Can I bring something up really quickly?
Please.
Dominick? I need you to know that so many listeners have DM'd me being like, Justin Timberlake's DWI is because of the prayer chain. And they said, like, when he just got his shit rocked, they were like, the prayer chain works in mysterious ways. And it's because of us, people in the prayer chain, and I will accept that. And it's true.
I'm glad you brought him up. It's time. I was trying to save him to the end.
And know that there will be merch in the very near future.
Very near.
Having to do with the prayer chain. That's all I can say at this time. Thank you.
Just to run through these busted Timberlake stories very quickly.
Busted Timberlake.
You know,
you wrote that down waiting to say it to me.
I've had it written for years. I was just waiting for that asshole to get arrested. The cop is getting a bad rap. Everyone in Sag Harbor hates him because he's a hard ass. It's like,
don't care.
I get why some people don't like the police, but you're like,
I will fund this police officer.
This guy's pulling over drunk drivers and he's an asshole. Calm down, Sag Harbor. That's why I don't go out there, by the way. Can't get that. Stop with all of it.
Yeah. No, an American hero, that man.
The same cop, by the way, the same cop pulled him over a few minutes prior and said, you need someone to come get you. This is a warning. And left him alone. And then Justin Timberlake kept driving, was on the other side of town. The cop saw him blow through a stop sign and was like, is this the same bitch? Yeah. And then cuffed him.
Didn't I just give you a warning, you little fucking bitch? Yeah.
Fuck this guy. Some video leaked of a concert from Vegas weeks ago, I think, of him looking bloodshot and drunk. Right before we came here, there was a reason given, like he wasn't drunk. It was something else. I didn't research the reason because I didn't care, because I've read enough reports online that have talked about him like having a drinking problem. So it's like seeing a video of him drunk again doesn't do anything.
Also, like, drunk at his concert, like, yes, of course he is. Like, do you know what I mean? If he's performing, like, no shit, he's like taking a couple shots to get the edge off.
Right. If you are a fan of his,
he's not operating a vehicle then. Be as drunk as you want.
If you are a fan of his, like Dyed in the Wool, I will say that he addressed this for the first time on stage in Chicago a few days later. And he was like, I know I make it hard to love me. And I know that's cheesy, but I thought it was, I don't know. I was like, that's pretty smart, because he wants to keep his core, and that's how to do it. And they feel like they're doing him a favor by loving him.
Oh, God.
I mean, I'll do him a favor and love him the right way, like a man. But
what a loser.
I wouldn't marry him.
I'm so He still can't take accountability.
No.
He still can't do it.
Speaking of accountability, I would like to know who's going to take accountability for me hearing that John Travolta is dating Charlotte from Sex and the City. What is going on? What is going on?
Someone DM, I think it was Aaron Bagwell, DM'd me and was like, is she trying to find Shelly? Like, is that what
But here's the real tea. They've done a movie together. They're doing a movie that's coming out this year. And when I found that out, I thought, wow, they even make it seem like elderly co-stars are dating in order to market shit. What is this, old Hollywood?
Because the quote is like, they really like each other a lot, but like I could say that about you. You know what I mean? It's like you and I are not dating, but like
I am certain we actually like each other more than he likes her. There's, you know what I mean? Like it's just
if you know what I mean, and I think that you do. To quote Wendy Williams,
Donald Sutherland died this week. We don't normally talk about celebrity deaths, but he was an icon.
That's really sad. Yeah.
I mean, truly, like, we won't even like list every film because it would be impossible, but like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Ordinary People, not to mention Hunger Games, which is how maybe many of our listeners know him.
Definitely like my generation was like, we know who that. Yeah.
Truly wonderful. I never nominated for an Oscar, which is so fucking weird.
I won't lie. Looked fucking great for
88
years old.
He did.
Yeah.
He could have still gotten it. What was his character's name in Hunger Game? President Snow. Yes. So
someone that Justin Timberlake wants to meet.
Well, I guess he won't be in the sequel that's coming.
Yeah.
And then this morning I was reading that Shifty Shellshock passed away. Do you know he was in that band?
Who is that?
Come my lady, come my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar, baby.
No.
He passed away yesterday. Yeah.
Love that song.
He was only, he's younger than me. So he wasn't yet 50. He was like 48 or 49 years old.
Dare I ask what he died
Very
from?
sad. An era-defining song. I had to look it up today. It was that song, Butterfly, was #1 for 2 weeks. So
dare I ask what he died from?
The article I read did not state. He did have a very public issue. He was very public about his issue with addiction. He was on Celebrity Rehab twice. So very public about it. But I don't know if that's, you can connect the dots, but someone will release an official report soon. And we'll close, I guess, on a singer named Jennifer Lopez, who we occasionally speak about.
Maybe you've heard of her.
We put her last because of that ass. No, when speaking of that ass, she cancels this tour just to repair her marriage and then goes to one of Ben's kids' middle school graduation and then leaves for Italy alone and is caught taking pictures of her ass on a boat.
Don't say caught.
So you're telling me that she called they're in Italy, so it's actually real Italian paparazzi.
Yeah, paparazzo.
To come and take a picture of her taking a picture of her ass?
100%.
All right.
Dominic.
It's just, look, she's much more famous than we are, so I'm not going to question the marketing.
I love it. I love that she's like, I'm lying right to everyone's faces. I am by myself. I canceled a tour and lied about it, and you guys all figured it out, and I still am lying to you. And I'm just going to go look like a hoe, like laying on a boat by myself, taking pictures and looking great doing it.
The best part of this story is that she's over there repairing her marriage by taking pictures of her own ass while Ben Affleck is outside their home screaming at invasive paparazzi who wouldn't be there if he wasn't married to Jennifer fucking Lopez.
He deserves it. He deserves it is all I'm going to say. Oh God, it's so great.
Jennifer Garner. The only other real story with them this week is that Jennifer Garner, multiple disreputable sources are saying that Jennifer Garner is absolutely the peace treaty person here, trying to make sure Ben doesn't divorce her.
Well, they've really been trying because she's like, I can't fucking deal with you again. Like, you need your wife
he'll
to
be
do
a fourth
it.
kid.
Yeah. She's like, I can't do this again. You already got the fucking Phoenix back tattoo.
Don't make me do
this. I already did this. Like, you're not my problem anymore. So you got to go to your wife and figure it out.
You will not get over that back tattoo. That's like,
no, I never will.
Do you think if he physically beat Jennifer Lopez, you'd be angrier about that than the back tattoo, or would it be a tie?
Of course. No. Yes, I would. Of course. But the back tattoo's pretty bad. And then when he tries to then be like, I'm a private person, I'm this, I'm that. You know?
I think Jennifer Lopez could beat the shit out of him anyway because of all that training she did for the film. Enough. I bet she could
my favorite. My favorite Jennifer Lopez film, by the way.
Okay.
I must bring you with one last
saying the words, my favorite Jennifer Lopez film. Let's move on.
She has a great filmography, Dominic.
She's had a couple of good
Made
ones.
in Manhattan.
Chris, I want to move on before our friendship ends.
Monster-in-Law.
That's a great movie.
Great movie.
Out of Sight, Monster-in-Law, and Hustler.
Enough.
I'm stopping there.
Wait,
you will not, even
I have one more
performatively,
thing.
I will not say that I give a thumbs up to Enough.
It's a terrible movie, but I love it because it's a great B movie.
Go ahead.
You don't agree?
No.
Okay.
Her wig alone, I can't.
So, yeah, no, that's why I like it, because it's so terrible. She made up for it in Atlas, though. Thrice over.
It's bad, not good bad, like House of Gucci, which is a film you're going to need to remember.
Absolutely not. Anyway.
Are you telling me that the movie Enough is better than the film House of Gucci?
I mean, in ways, yes. In ways, yes.
Oh, man, I'm going to pass out. Well, here we
are.
A
lot happening.
After this break, we are fixing one of our most requested clients, Bradley Louise Cooper.
Chomping at the bit.
Jolenta Greenberg is here. We are literally, you will hear Chris salivating to fix.
Yeah, you'll hear the chomps.
Bradley Cooper. And we went very long. So this is a good episode if you want to sort of peep the Patreon, give it a month. There's a lot of content from that on this, including like several Bradley Cooper as Leonard Bernstein impersonations. And that's that. We will be back to fix Bradley Cooper after this message. Happy Pride.
Now, Dominic, you know how I say that we have these guests that we think of as the housewives because it's like we know them so well and they don't know who we are. We have another one like that, and it's a big one. Jolenta Greenberg, I've listened to you on podcasts for years and years and years. I feel like I know everything about you, your relationship, your life. And here you are in front of my eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. The feeling is mutual. I feel like I'm meeting old friends who don't know me, you know?
Yeah.
I love listening to your show.
Thank you. And Kristen Meinzer has been your partner in podcasting for a very long time. And you guys have a brand new show coming out. And it just came out a couple weeks ago. And so I want to let you plug it right now because I'm so excited for it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. It's called How to Be Fine with Friends. And it's a new sort of season or a revamping of our show, How to Be Fine. And we're exploring the loneliness epidemic that seems to be sweeping our country and exploring like, why are we lonely these days? How do we make friends as adults? How do we maintain friendships as adults? And we talk to experts and they give us advice. And then we try out that advice on our friends, unbeknownst to them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you'll find some familiar faces as the guests of this podcast.
It's true. It's true.
You'll have to catch up. I don't want to spoil anything, but keep your eyes peeled because some people you've heard on this show definitely.
Really? Some crossover experts?
Definitely some crossover experts.
Wow. Interesting. Are you one of them, Christopher? Is that what you're saying?
Not yet. Not yet. But not yet. But that is my goal. But But
it'll probably happen.
So, Jolenta, again, thank you for being here. I mean,
you're here on a momentous day, for sure.
Yeah,
because fixing Bradley Louise Cooper has long been a fantasy of this podcast, particularly Chris, who has been chomping at the bit for months. Now, I have resisted because I have had it with Bradley Cooper to the point where I'm like, I don't want to fucking fix you. I'm done. I'm going to say his name for the next 40 minutes or so, and then I will have had it again. And then we're done with Bradley Cooper. Before we move any further, at the top of every episode of our podcast, we have our guest and Christopher guess the middle name of the person we are trying to fix. Although I earlier said that it was Louise, it is not. I have confirmed with Wikipedia it is not Louise. So, Jolenta and Chris, what is Bradley Cooper's middle name?
Now, I feel like Bradley might be his middle name and his first name is something.
That is not the case. It is a question we allow. It is not the case.
I like it.
You mean like William Bradley Pitt?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yes,
Father of the year, just not any year that you've lived
in.
Damn. Bradley, not Charles.
I will let you know he was born in 1975. He is 49 years of age. He was born in Abington Township, Pennsylvania. Sometimes these facts will
that helps a lot, actually.
Right. No, it's super
okay.
I'm imagining like incredibly white.
Yeah.
Non-Jewish.
He's from Pennsylvania.
That
should help me.
He's Italian and Irish. His mother's Italian and his father's Irish.
Bradley Christopher.
Ooh.
Jolenta?
I'm going to go with like Bradley Michael.
Well, it's not one of those guesses, but it's so close.
I thought I got it.
I was really hoping Chris got it.
It was a great guess,
It flowed
Chris.
well. It flowed well. Yeah.
Was it because I started laughing when you? I don't know. I don't know why. I was like, of course he thinks it's Christopher because he's.
And you usually tell me no.
I normally would.
You usually immediately say no, that's not it, and then I know. But then you made Jolenta answer like it was a whole thing.
What is it? Bradley Veronica Cooper. No, it is Bradley. It is Bradley Charles Cooper.
I said not Charles.
You said Christopher.
I sat there and I said, I literally aloud was like, okay, it's not Charles. It's, I
missed that part.
Promise you. I was like, it's not Charles. It's, oh my God, I literally had it.
I think I was reading the other paragraph. I was not paying attention.
Well, what a surprise, one. And two, I literally said it. And now I'm so mad at myself.
Are you supposed to get a half point or something now for this?
No, because I said it's not Charles. I'm devastated right now, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm really, yeah, I feel for you.
Thank you, Jolenta. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, well, listeners will hear it. But
while you gather yourself, I want to give you a rundown of who exactly it is we are fixing today.
Please.
Bradley Charles Cooper has won a BAFTA. He has won 2 Grammy Awards. He has been nominated. He has been nominated for 12 Academy Awards, 6 Golden Globes, and a Tony Award. He is also 2011's sexiest man alive.
Wait, did he not win for Silver Linings Playbook? Am I wrong?
For the Grammy Awards, he and Lady Gaga in 2019 won Best Pop Duo or Group Performance for Shallow.
Okay, so he has an Oscar, but not for acting.
He does not have an Academy Award. He's been nominated 12 times. He's been nominated as actor, supporting actor, screenplay, and as the producer of several Best Pictures.
Guys, this makes so much more sense now.
He even, by the way, one of his Oscar nominations is as a producer for Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix film. So that's one of his Oscars. He was nominated for Silver Linings Playbook. He was nominated supporting for American Hustle, actor and producer of American Sniper. Same thing for Star is Born. And then, of course, we will discuss Maestro in just a few minutes.
We sure will. I'm thinking that who wins that year? Dominic, I know this is your favorite thing to do. Who wins?
Which year?
The year that he's nominated for Silver Linings Playbook. Because that's the one where, what is her name? Jennifer Lawrence.
She did. She
won. Did she win for that? Yeah.
But I thought that he then won. But maybe I'm wrong.
I think we just associated like the two together. Yeah.
We just assumed winning for them. Yeah.
That year, the winner of Best Actor was Eddie Redmayne for playing Stephen Hawking in The Theory of Everything.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's tough.
I mean, no one could beat that. Right?
That's tough. That's tough.
Like, they eat that up. Yeah.
That's a hard one to beat.
That's really tough, guys. That's really tough. So the problem is, before we even go, I think we should talk about how he was on Alias. Right? Wasn't he like her friend on Alias?
Oh yeah.
Like the problem is that he desperately wants an Oscar and no one's given him one yet. That's where we're where we will get to. But like, why don't we go down memory lane for like 2 seconds? Because I remember watching Alias once it was like on Netflix and being like, oh, that's Bradley Cooper, who then at that time was like a humongous movie star.
Right.
Well, he got his start in Wet Hot American Summer. That was his first movie, 2001. And then he had like a normal sort of actor's rise. I mean, he was a good looking dude and he started out with small roles and eventually just got bigger roles. He was in Wedding Crashers, was his next like big thing
he's like
after
the
Wet
guy
Hot.
that's dating Isla Fisher, right?
douchey
That
guy.
they like can't stand. Yeah.
Yep. And then really the biggest break for him probably in his modern history is The Hangover. Because that movie was a behemoth.
Duh.
So
Yeah, I
in
forget that he was
2009.
even in it.
It was like a trilogy.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was sort of what cemented him into American culture.
Mainstream,
For
yeah.
sure.
And he did other stuff, like he was in Valentine's Day. And then, of course, he was in the very forgettable The A-Team.
But if you think about it, like when The Hangover, that was like Bridesmaids, like Anchorman.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that was
that was a humongous
huge,
movie that we watched
yeah.
over and over and over again. Like Zach Galifianakis became a
I was going to
household
say
name.
a lot of them, like Ed
Yeah.
Helms. It put like so many of them.
Yeah.
Like
Not
on
the one that was
mainstream
missing,
map.
though, sadly.
Yeah.
Doug,
Not the one
that
what?
was named Doug in the movie. The one that was like the one that was missing, who they were trying to find. Like where's he?
Where is he?
I don't even know what his name is.
Well, I
Either.
mean, he
I
didn't
was
have
like,
the
I can't
funnier
even
role.
picture him. Yeah.
Yeah.
His role was it was too supporting, apparently.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Um,
not supportive enough.
So, I mean, Jolenta, what do you think of Bradley Cooper? Before we go any further, like, what are your
Right.
thoughts? Like, just give me, like, get a baseline for us.
I
Like,
think,
what's going
okay,
on?
I'd say like the last time I like liked Bradley Cooper was probably when he was an Alias.
Okay, slam.
I mean, no, I've just
Slam.
I feel like for some reason the second he like came on my radar, I always felt like I was like waiting for the other shoe to drop with him. I was always like, what's up with him? Like I feel like he has a secret brewing or an agenda that
Definitely has a secret brewing.
right? Doesn't he have a secret brewing?
Yeah. I mean, I would bet everything I own on it, but
Right.
what are we to do?
Yeah, I've always just been a little wary of him, and I've never quite seen like the mass appeal, like especially like when Silver Linings Playbook blew up. I was like, sure, he's kind of cute, but like he's pretty like run of the mill average actor in my opinion. I say this as someone who came up in the theater but then left it for comedy.
Do you want to know what though the description you're giving of him about like what's the like I get it kind of, but what's the big deal was exactly how I felt about Jennifer Lawrence, both before, during, and after Silver Linings Playbook. I feel everyone needs to calm down.
Similarly for both of them. Like someone forced them down our throats. And I don't know who it was. Like
she also she did a great job of like being funny on the red carpet, and that got her really far.
Yeah.
Right. And not that she's not a good actor, but like
no, she's good.
Yeah, like she did a really good job of like being a celebrity fun, like in a fun way. And like people loved that. Like remember when she was like
tripped, like
and like remember when she was on the red carpet and she was doing an interview, and who was it? What is his fucking name? You're both gonna kill me.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson. Yeah, you know exactly the story. Jack Nicholson like comes up behind her and like basically sexually harasses her on the red carpet. And he's like, you look like an old girlfriend. And she's like, do I look like a new girlfriend? Like, we loved it. Like, you know what I mean? She like did all the right PR things.
She's
like, outside
abroad.
of
Like we're not fixing her. Like she's not.
No, she doesn't need it.
But in the way of what's the big deal? Like I felt like she was a little overblown at the time. I can see why people think that about Bradley Cooper as well.
Yeah. And to me, he just sort of reminds me of like the adage I heard when I was, in acting school where like, sometimes if you just like stay in the business long enough, like eventually it happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm just like, he just stuck around and somehow like rose up, I guess.
He'll be like a June Squibb, basically.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, oh my God.
He'll win when he's in his 80s. He'll get his recognition.
Right. Yeah. And then he just started like reeking of sort of desperation and pomposity when he started doing like directing features that he's starring in. Like he really lost me with The Star Is Born.
He's
like he's some hero for casting Lady Gaga, who I think is not a very good actor.
I don't think. And
as
I
an
love
American
her
Horror
to
Story
death,
watcher,
but
it's not it.
No,
Okay, Jolenta, you apparently haven't seen one of the greatest
Dominick's
films
favorite movie, which is an
House of
eyesore.
Gucci. You have not seen House of Gucci?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Well,
Jolenta, don't.
I could stand, I'm willing to stand corrected.
No,
I
Jolenta,
encourage you to watch
I
it.
promise you, we're like the angel and devil on your shoulder right now. I promise you, you will walk. I walked out of that theater and I am here to tell you, I am a little monster. I have seen her in concert like 75 times. Like I've like worked on something that she's worked. Like I couldn't be a bigger fan of hers. And I walked out of that movie. I was like, that was 3 hours I will never get back. And Dominick thought it was like the best movie of the year.
It's a masterpiece for a million reasons. I don't understand why people are like, ooh, Hamilton is bold because they put people of color into the roles of white people. But with House of Gucci, they're not like, why the fuck is Jeremy Irons playing an Italian count? It's the same thing.
Good question. Oh my God. I need to see
Adam
that.
Driver in this movie at all. It's fantastic. The audacity of House of Gucci.
Jolenta, just know that the entire time, instead of either speaking in Italian or just speaking in English, they speak in the most offensive Italian accent possible.
Unbelievable.
So like, the entire time it's just them speaking in English with an Italian accent, which makes absolutely no sense. It's beautiful.
Oh, I love it. I love when movies do that.
Yeah.
But getting back to A Star is
Back
Born.
to Bradley. Back to Star is Born.
You know, I liked A Star is Born. I did
too.
I wonder what everyone would have thought about it if this was the first go around for A Star is Born. You know, I mean, I'm a little older. I've seen the other three versions of the movie, but I think they're popular and then well known enough that like people knew like the gist of the movies.
Right.
I thought he was really solid in it, but I just always look at him and I don't know why. Whenever I see him, I see someone good looking who's looking back at me and saying, really frustrated, I'm not just good looking. I do other things. I'm just like, okay, but
I'm everything.
When you look that good, you don't have to do other things. Just buy the Oscar at an auction and put it on your mantle. Buy Vivian Lee's Oscar. Don't try to get your own.
It's so much like he thinks he's doing like a Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like he thinks he's like disappearing into the role every time nowadays. And it's like, honey, you're not. Like, sorry to say. It's like, you're Bradley Cooper.
Even do you know where Bradley Cooper could disappear to?
Where, Dominick?
Chris, I'm sorry. My role. My ass roll.
Like, remember he was like tanned, like he was like a leather bag. And then he was like an alcoholic and like so straight. Oh, and even then it was like, okay, like, what is this? And the whole time you're like, okay, whatever song he's singing, like get through so we can hear Lady Gaga, like Grammy award winning, like singer that has taken the world by storm, actually sing, like not you do a duet with her. You know what I mean? Like he keeps like attaching himself to these things where he's like, oh, I'm going to then like do this crazy. Again, Maestro, I don't know if we're ready to go there yet, but like, I'm going to disappear into this role of this guy. And it's the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life. And you're like, just
do you
be normal in a movie.
Right.
You know, we made fun of his outfits in Maestro so much. We were like, I kept putting them on my Instagram story being like turtlenecking. Like, look at all these turtlenecks. Like, it was just like, the problem is it's the most over the top, like desperado situation. Always.
And that's what
the
we can't
desperation
handle.
comes through. It comes
and it's
through.
so obvious. And you want this Oscar so fucking badly.
Wait,
like
Chris, are you aware of what his Tony nomination is for?
What is is that for The Elephant Man?
Yes, he played the Elephant Man on Broadway.
If that doesn't scream, I'm not just a pretty face, like what does?
Oh my God.
Like,
please explain what the Elephant Man is for someone that doesn't know.
So the Elephant Man is about a
John Merrick.
Right. Severely disabled Victorian England.
Dear God.
He had a disease that was then referred to as like elephantitis, where you like grow sort of, you know, non-cancerous, like tumory deformities. And he was like living as a freak show and then studied. And then, you know, they made a play and a film about his life.
The film, they're both wonderful, by the way. Like, if you have a chance, they're both really great.
Sure, but again, it's like he's like, I'm so ugly, like I'm disgusting.
And so deep.
Like,
and
it's not just that. I mean, when he's on stage, like I know people who saw his performance and said that it was mesmerizing, but I don't believe wore prosthetics and was like contorting himself.
Right. Yes. I heard about this. Yeah. It
I
was
have my
all
head in my
like,
hands.
I know.
yeah.
I have my head in my
Are we
hands.
all thinking of Rosie O'Donnell and riding the bus with my sister right now?
Oh my
Because it's
gosh.
the first thing that
Oh
pops
my
to my mind.
God.
Dominic, I can't.
But that's what it
Wow.
was. But it was.
But yes.
It's what they spoke
Wow.
about in Tropic Thunder. We won't say the word here, but when
Exactly.
they're
No,
like, you need to go
exactly.
full. That's
That
what
was
the
the
Elephant
level.
Man is. That's like, if you want to be if you do that role and you're not nominated for an award, you were bad at it.
You did a disservice
you were
to a
bad.
community.
Even
Yeah.
in Arkansas Dinner Theater, if you do it there, you have to be nominated for
Yeah, you have to
what
be
I'm
good.
assuming is called an Arkie down there for
An
the
Arkie.
Arkansas
I
Dinner
mean, how
Theater.
could it not be?
An
And
arc.
again, it just reeks of that desperation of being like, I'm more serious than hot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially also when you mentioned he is also a producer on the Joker thing, where I'm like, oh, he's really trying to spread himself out to prove
Yes.
himself.
Yeah.
It's not just singing and Elephant Manning.
Well, he's attaching himself onto whatever he can to get that Oscar.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe he is a classically trained actor. He speaks several languages. I mean, that's also part of the problem is that he's just
Smart
too fucking
and,
perfect.
learned.
All
Yeah.
of it.
He has a lot he
yeah.
wants to prove. Didn't he go to the actor's studio? They tend to
did,
turn out
yeah.
some very serious
And
people
he
that
is
take themselves
serious
seriously.
What I find a lot about the people that we have on this podcast that we're trying to fix is that they will live unencumbered of our vitriol for years and years. And then they just take on one project, which makes you rethink everything they've done before that.
Yeah.
And now we're ready to move on to a film we have for a full year just been referring to as Hello, I'm Lenny, otherwise known as Maestro.
Maestro.
The amount.
Where do we even begin?
Do we start with the Jew face as the person with the last name
Go for
Greenberg?
it.
Am I the one that has to bring it up?
Yes, you do. Yes,
Yeah.
you absolutely do need to be the one to bring it up.
As someone who was getting harassed with nose emojis last night on TikTok, it is an odd subject. There are plenty of Jews who can play Leonard Bernstein if you need someone with an accurate nose. If it doesn't look right without it, perhaps you don't need to play it if you're also directing it. Or there are ways to contour and shit that can make your nose look so different.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was unnecessary and they really worked hard to make it seem necessary after the fact when people were like, you put the only alteration you did was a schnoz to play Leonard Bernstein.
Right.
Well, and severe sun damage also.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's
I will say that
they
because remember he showed up.
the shit out of him for sure.
He showed up to the Oscars looking like a Ken doll that was put in the microwave. You know what I mean? It was
oh yeah.
Well, probably because he had all of those prosthetics on for a year, it probably permanently damaged his skin, and he had to get one of those Korean glass facials. Maybe it didn't go well.
Oh my gosh.
It also was very just every single scene is overacted. And and it's one of those movies, it's either a movie that I love or I absolutely hate, where nothing really actually happens. And this is just an exploration of a character. And there is no real legit plot. It's really just different scenes of their life. But this one felt very this is a vehicle for me to win an Oscar. It was just
100%.
The reason that it was made was
it was a pure masturbatory vanity project.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Masturbatory is a very good word for it.
It felt like almost watching a clowning exercise.
Right. It was sort of like watching a vintage version of Atlas starring Jennifer Lopez.
Correct.
With Maestro as Atlas.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Atlas.
How dare you, Dominic?
Also, when the stuff started coming out about his directing style, that turned me off even more.
Tell me. I don't know if I know this.
I'm pretty sure Maestro was the one where, first of all, he was directing semi in character because he idolizes Daniel Day-Lewis.
I can't.
Which as someone who's an actor who studied non-method acting, I kind of agree with the thought of if you can't turn it on and off, you may not know how to do all of your job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the acting. Yeah.
You it's if you need to become another person, that's you being a chameleon, not necessarily acting and putting it to bed when you go home or
Sure,
and it's he would direct in the voice Which
he'd be
I feel like
so the next thing we need to do is we need to go.
that would be insufferable.
How did Carey Mulligan not cut his throat
I don't know.
during
I don't know. And then also this was the movie where he talked about how he doesn't like chairs on set and everyone can sit on apple crates and like chairs suck your energy. So like he wants everyone to like stand around.
I'm not fixing him, Chris.
And it's I'm sorry, on film sets where you can wait 8 hours for a shot, you want there to be no freaking chairs? Yeah. Also, what if there's anyone with any sort of disability and they like don't want to crouch on an apple crate or two? Like, it's just not cute. But he thinks like he's being super method and like super into it. And it's also you're not a great director if you like can't get your actors' energy back up and like need to make them uncomfortable perpetually.
Have you ever heard that story about Laurence Olivier and Dustin Hoffman when they're filming Marathon Man? And Dustin Hoffman's character at a certain point has to have been like unshowered or abused. I can't remember the plot. And he shows up to work all like disheveled and homeless. And Laurence Olivier, the world's greatest actor at that time, looks at Dustin Hoffman and goes, "Why don't you just try acting?" And that was the end of the conversation.
Right. It's like, you don't need to be a cobbler to play a cobbler. Just like research it.
Exactly. His press tour, which turned into a full-on assault during the awards lead up. And this was when like we'd been making fun of it for months because it was so in your face and we knew what he was doing. And we were just like, oh, that Bradley, he's just doing another Star is Born and pulling his shit and doing every job. And good for him. Maybe he'll win this time. We even begged the Academy on this podcast to please just give him the Oscars so he would stop. That he would stop.
Take a break.
We pulled that suggestion from one of our periodicals. But he did, I think it was CBS Sunday Morning, but he did an interview and started crying and saying to the interview that he missed Leonard Bernstein. And Leonard Bernstein's been dead for 25 years and Bradley Cooper's never been, to my knowledge, in the same room with him. Maybe he saw a performance, but they never met. And Leonard Bernstein's children are looking at Bradley Cooper, and even they're like, "You've got to fucking stop."
They're like, "We don't even miss him this much."
We're not trying today.
They're like, "He like destroyed our family the whole time." Like,
like, glad you miss him. He was an asshole to my mom.
Did you see the movie? Yeah, they're like,
how he behaved, right?
Yeah. And and very quickly, may I just say, and then I'll move right along because I know this is horrible, but I'm going to say it. Like, we were not shortchanged on any scenes where he was like almost molesting someone who's barely 18 of the male persuasion. You know what I mean? How many scenes did we see him like making out with a 20-year-old in the corner? Let's just say, like, I'm just going to leave that right there.
Life too.
Yeah. Maybe he's choosing these roles on purpose.
He's with Gigi Hadid, who's like 20 years younger than him.
Yeah, sure.
Let's
move on. Like a decade ago, I'm pretty sure it was him. He was pictured reading Lolita in the park to his like 20-year-old girlfriend.
Sure.
When he was like 40.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, that's not a departure.
He was 38 and his girlfriend at the time was 21 and he was reading Lolita in a park with her, with or to her.
May not have been to her, but
Cooper, America's famous movie actor du jour, and his 21-year-old model girlfriend, whose name sounds like that of a Bond villain, Suki Waterhouse.
Oh my God.
Oh.
She's like a singer now.
Yeah, her name is familiar, and it's not
okay. It does ring a bell.
Okay, good. Good for her. I hope she's far away from him.
Yeah.
Interesting. He once rejected rumors that he was dating his then 22-year-old co-star Jennifer Lawrence by saying, "I could literally be her father." And then was in a movie where he was her boyfriend and now is fucking someone who's even younger than her. Than she is.
Yeah.
Oh, Bradley.
This is the problem. Why do we know all these things about him on the set? Like, why do we know that he didn't have chairs? Like,
he bragged about it in interviews.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
He can't help himself but to be like, and then this happened, and then the art, and then the blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just whatever he can try. And like, personally, like, if I see he's in a movie now, like, I'm going to be like, I can't watch this. Like, it's gotten, like, I know we're beating up on him, but like, it's gotten to the point where like, he's no longer, in my opinion, the star power that he like once had is now like, oh, this is going to be another thing that he's going to overact and like be crazy. And like, we're going to have a like 75-month, Oscar campaign for that means nothing because everyone else in it is going to be like what Sterling K. Brown did to J-Lo for Atlas, like everyone else did to Bradley Cooper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's.
I'm trying to look up what his next project is. It's a movie called Is This Thing On, which stars him and is directed by him and stars and was written by Will Arnett. Interesting. Who I
assume it's about a comedian, like a stand-up, right? Is This Thing On?
Yeah, I would assume so, right?
Yeah, I'm looking.
And also,
so now he's gonna do some sort of tour or something as a comedian. Get ready, buckle up.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, now I'm at the, you know what I mean? He's gonna be at like freaking.
I'm at Chuckles in Shreveport.
Guys, he's gonna be popping down into the Comedy Cellar.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna watch so many videos of him.
I don't know what the movie is about. I mean, it's got to be.
Well,
right?
It has to be. Is this thing on?
Yeah.
It has
Is this thing on? Yeah.
He's going to be like at the comedies. Like it's going to be like, oh, here's like these comedians. Then it's going to be like Bradley Cooper gets on stage and it's going to be all over the place.
Yeah, it's going to be like Bradley Cooper surprises everyone at like a Sarah Silverman show. Like,
yeah, 100%.
His movie
100%, Jolenta, 100%.
This is new news. His movie after that, he's actually playing Jesus Christ. He's doing the life of Jesus Christ.
And
he's going to be crucified on Hollywood Boulevard. He wants to be.
I believed you too.
He wants to be put to death at the end of the shooting of this film.
He would love if they did a remake of The Passion of Christ. He would be first in line to be Jesus.
Oh my gosh!
I can't believe you got me. You actually got me. And nowadays, like. We've been doing this long enough. I know when you're.
Am I a better actor than Bradley Cooper? That is all I want to know. Hello, I'm Dominick.
Hello.
I'll never forget when you see at the end of the movie, you see real footage of him, and it's nothing
so
like.
And
you would think
that's the cherry on top, right there.
Yeah, like you put in
you watched all this for no reason. He wasn't even like this.
Yeah, guys, this is a mess.
This is a mess. Well, you know what, Chris? You've been chomping at the bit, so chomp away, bitch. I figured you would have like a list of 20 ideas.
No, I have a pretty solid idea.
You do?
Yeah. Are we there, Jolenta? Do you need to speak your piece at all? Like, do you anything else you need to say about Bradley?
I think I've said it all.
Okay. Dominick?
Have we even given you enough time to say anything?
Yeah.
I always feel like we need to send sympathy cards to our guests when they leave this podcast.
Well, when we get this fired up, you and I already talk over each other so much and like just talk at each other the whole time. And then when we have a guest, it's like they have to really fight to get there.
It is. We should really be. This podcast should be sponsored by a lozenge company, honestly, because the amount of screaming that happens.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper. You reek of desperation and we all see it. The world sees it. Anyone that has, eyes and ears sees it. You must lean all the way into it. You are going to star in an HBO show called EGOT. You are going to basically play yourself like a crazy, ridiculous version, a la like Entourage, like Adrian, whatever the hell his last name is like playing basically Mark Wahlberg. You are playing a heightened, parodied version of yourself that is an A-list celebrity that is desperate to win every award. And you already have a Grammy, and it is like on the motherfucking nose. You already have a Grammy. You want an Oscar. You desperately want an Oscar so much that you won't even think about getting an Emmy yet. And then you and what is the other one? A Tony.
Tony.
Already has a Tony.
He has a Tony, right?
No, just a nomination. Just a nomination.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it's like, I must get the Oscar so then I can go to to go to Broadway and then win a Tony the year after. So like, I want to see like what, like the Curb Your Enthusiasm version of you, like being insane, trying so hard to act and getting kicked on your ass and like going to the award shows and getting it slammed in your face and like never getting what you want despite having everything anyone could ever want from being an A-list actor for almost 2 decades now. And you are going to win an Emmy for that performance. You are going to recapture the hearts of America. Because I'm not gonna lie, if he does this, we will be fucking jizzing our pants over
we'll be
it
his
and like
biggest fans. Yeah.
dying, laughing,
Hilarious.
loving. Like we love when someone is like, yeah, I'm a fucking monster. Like we're like, thank you. Finally, now we can move on. You're great. Like that gets him back in the good graces. It gets him an Emmy. And then it's like, it's just, he's like the new Leo. I can't believe we didn't bring Leonardo DiCaprio into this at all.
Oh, yeah.
Because how many fucking, many movies?
So many similarities.
That were basically
Leo's
Inception.
not this desperate. Leo's, I
Sure.
mean, desperate for the Oscars, sure, but desperate in life.
Desperate in
Correct.
everyday life, not as much.
No,
Right.
not at all.
Right.
Not at all. But like the how many Shutter Islands did we have to sit through
Oh my
for him to
gosh.
try to win an Oscar? Do you know what I mean? And then finally it was because like a CGI bear like ripped him apart. Like they finally gave it. They were like, what else can this man do? Like, you know what I mean? We have to give it to him. I'm surprised Leo was not in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this conversation more. And if he is on this show, then like the offers are rolling in, baby, for movies, whatever. And then it's like he will somehow get the Oscar. They'll eventually be like, we have to give it to him. Like, you know, he's done everything. He's humiliated himself. We have to give it to him. And he'll finally get it. And that's what he wants. And that's my pitch.
Wow.
Bradley Charles, may I call you Chuck? Bradley
mad.
Chuck Cooper.
So mad I had it.
Had what?
I had his last name. I said, it's not Charles.
I know. And it wasn't that I wasn't paying attention, but I wasn't paying attention.
weren't.
No,
I know
I'm
that you
sure
weren't.
while you were ruminating, I was reading further down his biography. You know, the short-term pitch for Bradley Cooper is just come to my house. We'll talk about it over scones. Nude scones.
Is that what you call it, Dominic?
Yeah.
I call my
Scone?
member a scone. Yes, which I think that when we critique people's physical appearances, we should also point out when they're pretty flawless. And normally, you know, Bradley Cooper gives me the vapors. He is what I would describe as a hot piece of ass. And I want you to know, Bradley, that as much as you want to be taken seriously for your talent because you're so good looking, you should be super happy that you're good looking because it's given you a lot of steps up. A lot of steps up because anyone else walks in and says they want to do Leonard Bernstein, the people with all the money say, no, I don't think
Pass.
so. But you
Yeah.
know what? Look at those fucking blue eyes. Give him my purse and my virginity. But that's how it's gone for him always, which is why he gets to keep doing this. And Maestro, I think, stained that ability. So I too was thinking he should lean all the way into it. And at a certain point, I was like, he needs to do, unironically, he needs to do a film where he plays all of the roles. And it's got to be
Oh my
something
God.
like, it's got to be great.
Oh.
Like, he's got to do a Vietnam War film where he plays the Viet Cong and all of the American soldiers and all of their wives and girlfriends back home. And
Oh
just
my
do
God.
it.
You want him to do like a war version of the Nutty Professor, basically. It's like-
Exactly that.
Yes,
The
exactly.
Nutty Professor goes to war. That's it.
Goes to war with Bradley Cooper.
But I don't
Wow.
think it's realistic. And I want him to do, well, you know what? Actually, it's a little too realistic. And it's also probably something on his current to-do
Like I
list.
was going to say, that's on his list. Like he's brought that up to his manager already.
I want to do a reality show with Bradley Cooper. And we're going to call it, it's like, it's part reality, part competition. And we're going to call it Art Imitates Life. It's going to be a hidden camera show. We're going to wire up certain locations and we're going to see Bradley Cooper be a waiter. And we're basically, the structure will be, he's going to be somewhat like undercover boss, essentially.
Mhm.
And we're going to see how long he can get away with it. I would love for one episode to go over the span of just like 5 minutes where someone sees him and it's like, he's waiting tables and they're like, excuse me, you're Bradley Cooper. Like, get out. But then I would like there to be another one where he's like, on an Alaskan fishing ship or an oil rig. And he's so good at pretending to be these people that he gets stranded there for 6
like a month. Yeah.
And then it turns into like, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. And he's like, just like breaking down.
But that's it. It's like, you know what? If I'm going to show you this way what a good actor I am. I'm such a good actor. I could be a part of your life.
Yeah. I'll show you
nothing,
bitch.
Yeah. You won't even know that it's me. I'll teach your children. I'll fuck your wife. You'll never know.
I don't know if that's a threat or a TV show, but I like it.
It's a continued assault is what it is.
Yeah.
And that is my pitch. I would have to be on a premium network.
Wow.
Dare I say, my go-to is always Apple TV Plus.
Ooh, nice.
I just want everything on television to look like Severance. That is my goal. I want everything to have the same palette and be shot that way. And that's my pitch.
Wow.
Jolenta, I have to say, I think that this is quite a tough choice because not to pat myself on the back, I think that these are two very strong pitches this week.
They are really strong. I really want to see Bradley Cooper on an oil rig. That would be cool.
He'd be like rubbing it on his face. Like he would be like,
am I flushed?
And he would be like, oh, I remember when I was in A Star Is Born, I just was all over.
No, but he would go out. He would literally be on the oil rig. He'd walk out of the bathroom covered in oil, and all the other guys on the oil rig would be like, why are you covered in oil?
They're all clean.
Where'd you get that from?
I mean, I love the oil rig, but I feel like I'm leaning HBO. I feel like I'm leaning the HBO route.
Okay. It'll
probably be less expensive in the long run to make. And
sure.
Actually, yeah. Because he's like having to be like life flighted out of these like Arctic places that Dominick's putting him.
I love both of them. But yeah.
You could also use other HBO shows as crossovers. Like he could pretend to be Gene Smart shooting Hacks and see how many days he goes on set.
Yes.
Before Hannah Einbinder is just like, I think you're Bradley Cooper.
And he's like, hello, I'm Deborah.
I'm Deborah.
Wait, what? Yeah. I'm Deborah Vance.
No, it's got to be hello, I'm
Hacks. Hello, I'm Hacks is funny. And everyone's like, hello? Yeah, everyone's like,
yes.
Also, never forget that Dominick said that his mom at the Oscars looked like Sue Mengers. It's the best thing ever.
His mother looks like Sue Mengers.
I forgot he takes his mom.
She does.
She was tan to the hilt just like he was. And she had those blue like glasses that were like glasses you didn't need. Like they weren't her prescription glasses. They were just blue glasses. And she had like blonde hair, so tan. And Dominick said Bradley Cooper brought his mom looking like fucking Sue Mengers.
She looked like fucking
and
Sue
I
Mengers.
almost passed out from laughing so hard. Well, I have a win.
Well, actually, I don't know. Did I win the last one? Well, it doesn't even matter because we don't know what order we are. I did win the last one technically, but it's unimportant. You're still leading me in season 2 by, I believe, 2.
Only 2? I feel like I'm on a roll, but who knows? Well, but guys, we want to see EGOT, don't we? Like, that's fun.
I feel like it's just a good premise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not flying into a rage about losing because I think that your pitch is good. If I thought it was subpar, I don't know, I'd probably start crying about missing Leonard Bernstein myself. And you could just look at me strangely.
Yeah. Will someone cry about Bradley Cooper one day?
Maybe.
His daughter. Maybe Irina Shayk.
Wait, is that him that was like, I don't close the door when I pee? And my daughter like watches me take a shit. Am I wrong? Did we not even bring this one up?
God.
Cooper doesn't close the bathroom door. Dominick's going to kill me. Yes. Bradley Cooper's daughter watches him poop.
Bradley Cooper's daughter watches him poop.
It was on the Dak Shepard podcast.
Doesn't have any door to enter his bedroom. And then they're connected to the, I think you're right.
Yep.
Wow.
This man is a monster.
Bradley Cooper's daughter watches him poop is the headline on romper.com.
The first one, when I Googled Bradley Cooper doesn't close the bathroom door, the first thing is Bradley Cooper's daughter watches him poop. This man is a menace to society.
Can I tell you something now? Can I be honest?
You would watch him poop?
I would watch Bradley Cooper poop. I would do it.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't
would you.
turn down a free ticket.
No. Jolenta, who amongst? You know?
And you know what, Bradley Chuck? You should probably think about that if you want to raise money for charity. Sell a couple of streaming tickets. We'll sell out bars, for God's sakes. Just
say
watch.
that it's for a role. Make a role about like someone who pooped a lot or something. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Do
the author of Everybody
Diarrhea the musical.
Yeah.
Diarrhea.
Menopause the musical.
Oh my God.
Oh, brother. Jolenta, thank you so much for putting up with us for this hour.
It's been so much fun.
Tell everyone where they can find you and where they can listen to the new and improved How to Be Fine podcast.
You can listen to How to Be Fine wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search How to Be Fine. You can find us on Instagram at How to Be Fine Pod. We put fun stuff there sometimes. And that's it.
Wonderful.
Dominick, where can people find you?
Well, Chris, it's funny you should ask. My website's domentary.com. And if you go there, you'll get a link to tickets for my Pride show, We Get It, You're Gay, which is this Saturday, Pride Saturday, June 29th at 9:30 p.m. at the Cutting Room right here in New York City. And while we're here, happy Pride, everybody. Happy Pride. Chris, where can the listeners of this podcast find you?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People, and you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople. I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.